Now, but nobody's going to be telling you about this new bombing attack or this obvious car bomb attack on the Canadian border is what it means and how you better get ready for things that are going to be changing because it's coming. And don't think for a moment that this is just some strange thing that's kind of off the beaten path. Look at this. 2 terror suspects are killed in a car bomb explosion at the U.S.-Canada border. The FBI closes all 4 land crossings, and this is going to be, again, Niagara Falls. Get ready for this, my friends. Get ready. Get ready. I'm telling you. Get ready for this and do not become acclimated. You are going to start seeing people, because up till now they've been talking about, well, the southern border, the southern border, the southern border. But this is serious. An attempted terror attack on Rainbow Bridge at Niagara Falls saw a car explode, causing a massive explosion at a toll checkpoint. They killed apparently the vehicle's 2 occupants of this. Now, Fox News, by the way, Fox News, they're in on this. And God bless them, because we kind of need them. But Fox News is citing law enforcement sources and personnel who say the intention was a larger attack to kill more. And the FBI Terrorism Task Force is investigating it. But officials are yet to confirm the motive. And remember, the first rule about the motive is forget everything they tell you about the motive. And they say it remains unclear, aside, nobody's going to leave a message, but get ready for this. The city of Niagara Falls, we're not talking New York, we're not talking Chicago, Niagara Falls, says that the explosion, I'm recording this. What is this? That's okay. Where is this? Heading to the... Perhaps. The city of Niagara Falls says, by the way, this is live when we're doing this, and Mrs. L is my compatriot here. The city of Niagara Falls says the explosion came from a car that was trying to enter the U.S. from Canada. And it comes just 2 days after intel signals an increased risk of terror in New York City. And after this explosion, there were motorists who driven into the U.S. were told to leave their vehicles and walk back into Canada while their cars were checked. Get ready for this, my friends. Then there were witnesses who were at the customs building adjacent to the bridge were turned away in order to walk back. Quote, there was an explosion just by the building. Get ready for this. You know this, right? Now, here is what you've got to understand. You've got to grasp this, and we're going to be watching this as well. Mrs. L and I have been telling you from the beginning, stop thinking like a regular American and think international, and start thinking, what would you do right now? What would you do if you were a terrorist? You always want to maintain calamity, chaos everywhere. The portion, the goal, the meaning for the world of terror is to make people freak out. And there are different ways that you can target terror. One is to go for big tourist places. Las Vegas, Disney World, Disneyland, Mall of America, Times Square, the Super Bowl, World Series, that kind of stuff. Too obvious. What's the most effective is when you go to a place that doesn't normally seem to be the hotbed of terrorist activity. Someplace innocuous, someplace inane, Williamsport, Montana. What? That's the scariest part. What is terrorism? Terrorism is to freak you out. And look at what happens with Israel. What was it? What was the ground? The back end of it. The back end, which is very important. The back end of this story was that they immediately turned on Bibi and security and intel and says, why didn't you know something about this? You see how it's derivative? Now, this also plays into election time, because the Republicans, and I hope it's going to be President Trump, he's going to certainly be the Republican nominee, but he's going to say, now do you need me? Now do you doubt me? Now do you think I'm kidding around? Now do you think maybe I know what I'm talking about when I'm saying about Make America Great Again and about borders? Do you see? They laughed at me then. What does Mayorkas say about this? What does he say? Because it's always been Southern. And you've seen these people, these very sad people, walking, trying to get in, trying to make their way. You know what I mean? People say, like, oh, come on. How tough can it be? How bad can these people be? That's not what it's talking about. This changes everything. Listen to me and listen carefully. Every single story is critical, and every story can change everything. It changes precisely. We'll be talking more about this the late great menthol cigarette ban in the black communities. I know that's what. Remember, things that you think may not necessarily be like, well, that's. Oh no. Now, the good news for the Democrats is that the Republicans are so stupid, they won't know how to build upon this. I would be pounding this. If I were President Trump, he is nowhere to be found. I would have, either at Mar-a-Lago or someplace, I would have my studio, my TV studio, my whatever, and I would be putting out messages all the time. Not Don Jr., not that other one. I mean, I'd be doing it. I'd let people know this is what you're missing. If I were in charge, I'd be on TV right away. And what's Joe Biden doing? Trying to blow out candles, for God's sakes. Trying to blow out candles. Listen to me. Mrs. L and I were here on 9/11 on that Tuesday morning. We were here. And let me tell you something. You don't know what that does to people collectively. I just did a piece on my private channel about Gustav Le Bon and herd mentality, and about contagion and loss of identity, and how we become merged into the group. This is critical. And also remember, everything that comes out from your government is a lie. Don't believe anything. The government never benefits from telling you the truth. Let me say this again. The government never benefits from telling you the truth. So whatever you hear, whatever they tell you, we got it all under control. You think the FBI is under control? You think you feel good about them? You feel now, if this were January 6th, oh hell, they'd be all over this one. Man, they would have pictures. They would have every phone, every ping, they'd pick up the phone and call Apple. Did you get that? Tim Cook, we own you. I want all the data, all the metadata. I want to find out who these people were, where they're from. They would have known everything. But you see, just like with J. Edgar Hoover and the Mafia, if Biden and these folks act like they're doing a good job and really say, guess what, we've got information about legions of terror groups, then they're going to say, well, where the hell have you been? Legions of terror groups. Wait a minute. What? Think about what I'm saying, my friends. Think about what I'm saying. Watch this. Watch this story very carefully. And remember, everything you hear is going to be a lie. And if they tell you it's bad, it's worse. And if they tell you it's worse, it's grave. If you think this Hamas, Israel, is going to be over there, if you think Hezbollah and others are going to enjoy themselves and never say, hey, let's go to Cleveland. If you think that's out of their wheelhouse, you don't know how this thing works. You're not paying attention. So pay attention to them and pay attention to me. And comment as you see fit.